in this video, we're going to be going over the best cars to drive for Uber and Lyft. We're also going to be answering the questions, should you get an electric car? Should you get a hybrid? Should you get a minivan? Or should you get a luxury vehicle so you can drive the higher end tiers? Let's get into it. Hey guys, what's going on? Nick Newsom here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about what's the best car to drive for Uber and drive for Lyft. Now, I've been a driver for Uber and Lyft. I've given over 5,000 rides. I think I've been driving for almost 4 years now, and I've learned a lot. I've driven in Uberx in the economy platform. I've also driven in XL, and I've also driven in the premium modes. So, with that being said, I've also rented a car too, and actually, you can check out that video right here if you want to check out how much money I made to rent with Uber. Which is actually very worth it. And so I just want to say that real quick. So if you are thinking about becoming an Uber or Lyft driver and you don't have a car, well, they have a rental program. So you can always use the rental program. Now, there's many upsides to the rental program and there's many downsides to the rental program. With the rental program, you don't have to worry about wear and tear on your car, right? Because it's not your car. But on the downside, you have to pay a higher price. So you got to factor that in. Now, if you're going to drive Uberx, so there's different categories, right? There's Uberx, there's Uberxl, which means you need to have a vehicle that can support 6 passengers. And then there's Lyft Lux, and there's Lux Black and Black XL. Now, you have to think, are you going to be a full-time driver or are you going to be a part-time driver? That's going to have a huge impact. Now, if you're just thinking about becoming a driver, like if you haven't become a driver yet and you want to become a driver, I wouldn't do anything. Like if you have a car, use your own car. Because you're only going to be doing this, like you have to do it for at least 30 days, right? You got to give it a 30-day test, see if you like it. You might not even like it, and you don't want to buy a new car for that. Now, if you don't have a car, you don't want to use your own car, you can always rent a car. Like let's say you're driving like a truck or a big SUV with a big V8. Maybe that's something that's not going to be worth it to do Uber and do Lyft, unless you only do like the Lyft Black category, right? But there aren't that many rides for that anyway, so it's like it's not the best place to be. It's not the best place to position yourself. Now, because you're going to do a lot of sitting around. You're going to do a lot of sitting around and waiting. Now, your price, the money you make per ride is going to be really good, but you're going to be wasting a lot of time sitting around. Trust me, I know. I've been through all this. Now, I'm really in favor of the Uberx right now because the promotions are really good for Uberx and Lyft. But I really like the XL, right? And I drive in the Boston, Massachusetts market. So I think that like the best vehicle to have in Boston is like a hybrid minivan. And we're going to get into all this. I'm going to look at all the vehicles. We're going to price them out. We're going to check out gas mileage and see which one is the best way to go. What I was saying is like in Boston, if you have an XL vehicle, you can get right into the city. And if you're in the city and you're doing XL, which I would love a minivan, I think I'm going to buy one, a hybrid minivan, and you could just like ping pong around the city, just taking large groups out back and forth from home to the restaurant, to the other bar hopping and things like that. You can actually make some really good money, especially if it's a hybrid. You're not going to spend a lot of money on gas, and plus it pays such a high rate. When you're doing UberX, here's the difference between UberX and UberXL. UberX is more of a per hour type of gig, right? So as many hours as you're out there, you're going to look for an hourly rate. Now, with UberXL, it steps up a little bit because you're starting to make more money per mile, actually a whole lot more money per mile. Right now on the Uber platform, they pay about, I forget what the mileage is. They pay 60 something cents per mile or something like that. And when it comes to taxes, you can write off 57 cents per mile for wear and tear, maintenance, upkeep, and things like that. So the easiest way to figure it out, how much money you're making with your vehicle, how much are you making per mile, right? So, and then how much are you deducting for your maintenance, right? If it's 57 cents a mile write-off deduction from your taxes for maintenance and upkeep, just factor that in, right? So for every mile that you drive, it's costing you 57 cents to keep your vehicle up and running. Now, if Uber's only paying you 67 cents, you're only making 10 cents per mile. Now, UberXL, on the other hand, they're paying $1.74 per mile. So now you're going to make, now you're in the profit for every mile over $1, 10, 20 cents, right? I can't do the math right now. Probably 15 cents, $1.15 for every mile when you're driving UberXL. So you're going to make more money on top of the hourly rate that you're going to get. You get a little bit more than UberX, but it's really not much to mention. You get a little bit more than UberX, but it's the same thing. So UberX is trading time. It's basically a job. You're trading time for money. Now you get to do it on your own schedule, so it's not like a job. Plus, you don't get any benefits, so another reason that it's not a job. And then when you get into the UberXL in the premium modes, right? So it's UberX Economy, XL, and then you have like Lyft Lux or Uber Select, and then you have the Black, Lyft Black, and Uber Black. Uber Black you need a commercial license for anyways. So we're not even going to talk about that today. We're just trying to talk about the best car to drive for Uber and to drive for Lyft. Real quick, If you're getting value out of this video, go ahead and smash up that like button. It tells the algorithm that you like this video and you want to see more like it. Also, consider subscribing if you want the best tips and tricks and how to make the most money while you're driving for Uber and driving for Lyft. So one of the main things that you have to think about when you're thinking about your car and driving for Uber and Lyft, you have to think about how long do you plan to drive. Is this going to be a part-time thing, short-term, part-time, 0 to 3 months, where you're only going to be driving maybe, a couple hundred miles a week, maybe 500 miles a month. That's pretty decent part-time. That's pretty active part-time driving right there, 0 to 3 months. So honestly, like if you're a new driver and you're thinking about signing up, like I wouldn't, if you have a car, I would use your car first because you really don't need another car. But if you don't want to run the risk of damaging your car or something going wrong with your car, if your car has high miles, I definitely I would recommend renting a car to try it out first, right? If you're just starting out, rent a car to try it out unless you have a good car and you can make some money with it and you don't have to worry about it falling apart. 0 to 3 months. So you run a little bit of risk there. It's not really worth the investment of buying a new car. But renting car might be a good option or using your own car. Now, if you're going to get in 3 to 12 month range, right now you're talking about a little more long term. Now it's time to start thinking about what car you want to drive, how much money you want to spend, how much time you plan to spend driving, whether it's part-time or full-time, and that's really going to distinguish what you're going to do. And if you're going to drive longer than 12 months, you really need to, now you can really put some thought into your investment, because typically if you're going to get a new car or a used car, right, like a slightly used car, get something good, get something with low miles that can take a little bit of abuse, because you're gonna abuse that car. Take some abuse and won't fall apart on you until about 100,000 miles, where most cars, like once they get up there in that range of 100,000 miles or so, things start to go wrong, plus the scheduled maintenance where you have to do like timing belts, water pumps, all that good stuff, shocks, tires, anything to do with the suspension and things like that. There's a moth in here. I got bugs coming in from closing that curtain. So here's the thing I would think, like if you're going to do a part-time, you're going to do it for 3 months, you're going to do it short term. Renting a car is just fine, right? You're not going to put any wear and tear on your car. You're going to know exactly how much you spend on the rent. By the way, if you want to see my video on when I rented a car, just check out the video link right here. Check out the card right there. But in this, when I rented the car, it was really good because I knew how much I was spending on the car. And I knew how much, it was going to cost me. And it doesn't matter if the car broke down. It doesn't matter if anything went wrong with the car. My cost was fixed, right? I was paying to rent the car. If it breaks, I hand it back to the rental dealership, and they have to take care of it. So now if you're going to get into more longer range, we have to start thinking about what car you're going to drive. Are you going to drive Uberx economy modes, Uber Eats, any deliveries? Then you're going to step up to, you have UberXL, Lyft XL, Lyft Lux, Lyft Black, and Black XL, right? So these are some situations. Now I've driven in all of them. I've driven UberX, I've done deliveries, I've done the XLs, I've done Lux, I've done Lyft Black and Lyft Black XL. I love the higher range, the higher tier rides, because they pay more, but they're just so far and few in between that you spend a lot of time in the car, and the time isn't necessarily productive. I always brought my laptop with me, but you know what? I gotta say that driving and stopping and trying to do some work and then driving and stopping, it was just like it was a terrible mindset. Like my mind was always going crazy and I couldn't ever focus. So I would highly discourage you from going that route, right? So I'm retracting what I've previously said in all my other videos pretty much. And I'm just saying, like, I think UberX and XL is going to be your prime driving range. Now, when you have the XL, you have to think about the gas mileage, right? So let's take a look at some of the cars. So right here we have some minivans. This is the Chrysler minivan. So if I'm going to get a hybrid, if I'm going to get a minivan, I'm going to get at least a hybrid. I thought there was a fully electric Chrysler, but I can't seem to find it right now. So I want a hybrid vehicle. So the two hybrids that I found, and there might be more, right? Don't crucify me if I don't get this right. But I see the Toyota Sienna, right? This is a 2021, and this is it's a hybrid. And it's about $43,000, and then when you get up to that range, I think we got, when you're in that range, so let's check the Chrysler. So now we got the Chrysler over here. We got a 38,000 at 12,000 miles, which that's fantastic. This one's 10,000 miles. These are 2020s. That's a 2019. That's a 2020. for 6,000 more. And then we got the 27. Okay, so you can find some deals, right? So this one right here, right? I actually love this one. Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid Platinum front wheel drive. I bet this car is awesome. Look, it's 31,000. That's a sweet range right there. That's a sweet range if you're going to drive full time. Now, depending on your area too, like maybe there's not a whole lot of XL vehicles, right? So XL rides. So think about this too. So I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. I've been driving for over 5 years. I've given over 5,000 rides. I've been driving for 4 years. And what I found is that like inside the city, there's a ton of XL rides. And you'll just ping pong around the city, ping, 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 driving people, groups of friends, family members back and forth, going out to dinner, tourists, coming from the hotel workers, going out to dinner and things like that, friends going out back and forth around the city. Love that, especially if you're doing a quest ride, right? That's really beneficial. So you have to think about your geography, like what city are you in? Do you get a lot of tourists? You get a lot of people going out in groups and things of that nature. Oh, airport rides, right? Hotel to airport rides to hotels. Those are great for XL rides. Now, at Logan International in Boston, an XL ride, it can take a little while from the airport in the waiting lot. So once again, like, I don't recommend doing that, and which is why I love the hybrid minivan, because like if I have to get a ride to the airport and I want to get out of there quick and I want to get back in the city and start earning, well, I got a hybrid vehicle, so I can take an Uberx, I can take a Lyft economy ride, and I can get out of the airport, paid to get out of the airport for a nice ride, cheap ride, but at the same time, I'm not spending a lot on gas, and that's my biggest thing. So if I can have the minivan in the city and a hybrid, getting what was the mileage on this? I don't know. I checked over. I think I have another one here. What was the mileage? So the Toyota Sienna gets 36 miles per gallon in the city and 36 miles per hour and miles per gallon on the highway. Let's check the Chrysler. By the way, if you are thinking about becoming an Uber driver or Lyft driver, use my link in the description. Take my 30-day challenge. Everybody that takes the challenge gets a bunch of free stuff. You're going to be eligible for a free dash cam. You're going to get a free starter kit. You're going to get my free courses. We're also doing a cash giveaway. So make sure you use my link in the description. It doesn't cost you anything. It's totally free. 30-day challenge. I'm going to help and coach you and get you to the finish line. It's guaranteed money, totally free for you, and I'll see you on the inside. Okay, so here it is, right? And this is the new one. So I'm guessing the other one's going to be pretty close, the 2020 or the 2017. We're going to be looking in that 30 miles per gallon range for gas. But if we can keep it on electric, that's 82 miles per charge or however they measure it. I don't even know this stuff yet. But that's really good. I mean, even if you're getting 30 in the city, that's really good. A lot of four-cylinder cars, like the car I rented from Hertz, that was like, I got like 32 miles per gallon. And again, if you want to see the how much I made, check out the video right here. So that one was, that's pretty good mileage. So if you're in the city, you're going to get great gas mileage with these hybrid vehicles, right? And then we checked the Sienna, and that was in the 30s, right? 30s in the city, and then 30 for the highway. And 30 on the highway is great. Like you're going to get paid good. And the other thing about the XL is that the XL gets, you get paid per mile for you make profit per mile on the XL, whereas on Uberx, you don't make as much. And I put this in my other videos, and I will link in the description to one of those videos where I show you, you get to write off 57 cents per mile for taxes. So an easy way to think about that is for every mile that I drive while on Uber or Lyft, I need to deduct 57 cents per mile for the wear and tear on my car. Like literally should take 57 cents per mile and put that in a savings account so that you can cover the cost of the maintenance on that vehicle, which will come. You will have to pay for that. Oil changes, tires, regular maintenance, bearings, wheel bearings, you're going to have water pumps, you're going to have timing belts, your AC might go. All these things could happen, right? You could have something happen in the car. I don't know. Could be anything. Could be electrical, right? So you got to put a little bit of money aside. So what I'm trying to say is you have so for every mile you drive, you need to put some money away, and like how much money are you making? With Uberx, you're getting paid like 66 cents per mile to drive somebody around, but then it's costing you 57 cents, but then it's costing you 57 cents per mile to run the car, right? So you're only making like 10 cents per mile. Ridiculous. But if you're driving the UberXL, you're going to get paid $1.74 per mile. So that range is like, it's way bigger. And now with the XL, you're actually going to profit $1.10 per mile. So that's something to think about. Uberx is more about my time, and then UberXL is time plus. your per mile for your vehicle. So it's actually some profit. So I really like that. But the other thing about the XL is you don't get a lot of rides. So you have to think about your geography. What city are you in? Is there a lot of XL rides? If I was to purchase this vehicle in and drive in Boston, that's going to be a winner, provided the car is not a piece of crap and falls apart, right? So it's going to be a winner. My payment on that is going to be, where's the calculator? $624 per month, right? That's actually what I'm paying now on my MDX, so right around the same price range. If I could do a little bit better if my credit score was good, which it's not right now. If I wanted to go to here and there, 543, I could make it out to be that, But I mean, that's a long range, 72 months on the vehicle. It's a long range there, so it's probably gonna be about $624, another $150 for the insurance. So now we're looking at close to $800, right? So close to $800 to run this vehicle. It's totally doable, I think, with the XL. If you ran that plus with Uberx, which would give you tons of convenience because you wouldn't have to sit around. You could just take rides, bang, 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 bang. If there wasn't any XL rides and you want to be out making money, well, you get good gas mileage, so you could do deliveries. You could do just Uberx, and I really think that's going to be your best vehicle if you're if you're really going to get into it, depending on your geography. Now, if you're not going to do that, and here's the Toyota Sienna. So the Toyota Sienna will get you the same kind of mileage. I just think that this 43,000 price range, I think you're getting kind of high. I think you want to stick to the lower 30s if you're going to buy a new car. If you plan to drive for a legit amount of time, right? If you plan to drive for, I would say anyway, if you plan to drive for a full year, 3 to 12 months, because you got to pay off debt and you got to pay off your student loans and you got to pay off your, I don't know, maybe you want to pay off another vehicle or you want to pay off your vehicle. You could probably pay it off in those 3 to 12 months if you wanted to, or greater than 12 months. It's definitely no problem to invest in a vehicle that's $30,000 because it's going to pay you tenfold, because it's going to be a nice car. You're going to spend a lot of time in that car. So trust me, when you spend a lot of time somewhere, you want it to be nice, right? Don't drive around a piece of crap or you feel like crap. Lot less risk that you're going to run. So you're going to have the Toyota Camry. I mean, look at the prices. That's a 2009, but that's a little bit too new. I mean, too old. Mileage, no. We're going to take this down. We don't want anything over 50,000. Let's say 49,000 miles. Okay. And then price range. Let's bring this down. We'll go as high as 33. Okay. Bring this up a little bit. And what year? Where's my years? Okay, there we go. So 14, right? You can go as far, you can go down a little bit further, but just think about it. Your car has to be 15 years old. If you get a car that's 15 years old, the next year it's not going to be eligible to drive for Uber. Now, if you get a car that's like 5 years old, you can get a 5-year loan. That'd be 10 years total. So it's 5 years old, another 5 years on the loan. You have the car paid off. And now the car is 10 years old, and you still have another 5 years that you could actually drive that car for Uber and Lyft. So that actually makes a good investment. Okay, so we narrowed it down. There's one car after we narrowed down our search. So 40,000. Let's take this down to 33. What do we got? We got a 2018. Let's go to, you know what? Let's take this down to, we'll go to 2018. We'll go as high as a 3-year-old car, and that's it. That's as high as I want to see you buying is a 3-year-old car. I don't want you buying anything newer than that. So 2016, what's our ranges here? So we're right in the 20s. You can go up a little bit. I see 26, 23, 28. 2018 is going to cost you around 30. And if I'm going to spend $30,000, I'll tell you right now, I'll get the minivan. I'll get the hybrid minivan because I'm going to kill it with that. I'm going to make a ton of money. And to tell you the truth, I might actually get that car because I think that's a great deal. 23,000, but 46,000 miles. You know what? If I'm going to get a car, let's bring this down. I want this to be, let's see what we get. Can we get something in this range? I'm cherry picking now. All right. With 30,000 miles. Why? Because I want low miles because I'm going to crank a ton of miles on this car. Look at this one right here. This Toyota Camry, 2016 Camry Hybrid LE front wheel drive, 21,000, 3,000 miles on it. This car is probably killer. I mean, what a great deal. 4 owners with only 6,000 miles. That's crazy. I mean, 4,000 miles. It's a hybrid, i4 hybrid, my MPG combined 41. That's really good. The only problem with this thing, right? I'm going to pay 21,000, and the problem that I see is that One, it's a LE, so it doesn't have a ton of stuff. It's probably just got power windows, power locks. The other thing is like I can't do XL, so I can only do Uberx. I really don't like that. All right, so for me, I just like in my city, like I want the XL. And Camry's 30,000. If I'm gonna spend 30,000, I'm getting the minivan. If I'm not spending 30,000, I want to spend 20. And let's look at the Prius because the Prius, I want to bring the Prius down. I'm not spending more than 20 on a Prius. Not all years. We want to go 2014 to 2018. Search that. 50 miles from me. There's 4. Yeah, I want to keep it under 20,000, 30,000 miles. What's my payment on this one going to be? $352 for the payment, 60 months, fair credit. And it's not even that bad if you're like terrible. So 352 plus like another 150 for the insurance. So you're talking $500 total for the month. Not too bad at all. $500. You can probably make that in 2 to 3 days easily on the weekend. No problem. So 352. That's a good price, right? I pay almost that when I rented the car. The car costs like 250. No, 214 plus the taxes, fees, insurance. It came to almost $300 for 1 week. This is for the whole month, right? That's 352 for the whole month, which is huge, right? So I'm basically getting 4 weeks for the price of one when I rent, right? So you can see the difference here, right? Now the only problem is like when you actually buy the car, now you're on the, anything happens to the car, you have to pay for it. You have to cover it, like maintenance, things that go wrong and things like that. That's really awesome. It's $871 below market. I don't know why that is. Maybe something is wrong with it. Other than that, right, we have another 2016 Prius. This is the Prius 2, right? So these are all the Prius 2s. These are the same cars. And this is going to be a great car for Uber. I've ridden in these for Uber. They're fantastic. I mean, you're going to get great gas mileage. The car it is what it is. It's there designed to get you from point A to point B. And for the driver, it's perfect because it doesn't use a lot of gas. I mean, 52 miles per gallon combined on this guy. So for Uberx, for deliveries, for the basic economy rides, I would go with the Prius. Maybe Honda would be good too, but you want to get in this range. You want to get in a $20,000 range. Or lower, right around a 2014 to 2016 type of car to invest for a year or more. If you want to invest and you plan on doing rideshare for a decent amount of time, invest in something good, invest in something that's good on gas. Get the Toyota Prius. It's the classic Uber car. I highly recommend it. The price is right, the payment's right, the gas mileage is excellent. If you want to step it up, you want to make a little bit more money, which you will, I promise you, in the XL, like as long as there's XLs in your area, or you got to know where to find them. But that's going to make you a lot more money. The average ride from XL to X is typically, so you got to think about like Uber pays you 66 cents per mile for the Uber X, and then they're going to pay you $1.74 for the XL. So it's almost 3 times as much. So on average, your fares are going to be 3 times more with the XL than it will be for the Uber X. So just keep that in mind. All right. So just recapping everything that we just went over. So 0 to 3 months, if you're going to drive, either use your own car or rent, right? No sense in investing in a newer vehicle. If you're going to be in the game from 3 to 12 months and further and beyond, I think these categories kind of blend in. You definitely want to invest in a car at this point if you're not going to rent the entire time. But we went over the prices there, right? One week of rental is going to run you about $300, whereas you can get like a Prius for $350 per month, roughly, for the entire month, right? So you can make $1,800 every week driving about 50 hours, and then multiply that times 4. So that's $6,000, and then you're going to make with that, and then the car is only going to cost you $352. So something to think about there. If you live in a place that has tourists, that have a lot of nightlife, a lot of people going out and traveling around, definitely look to get that minivan. Now again, this is for the 3 to 12 months and beyond type of range, like depending on where you want to drive. If you're going to go in that range, if you want to jump in and get into driving for Uber and Lyft on a full-time basis, definitely invest in a car. So anywhere from 20,000 to 30,000 would be a good range because you don't have to invest. You're going to get typically low miles, and you don't have to invest a lot in maintenance up front. Your maintenance will come later. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Check out the other videos over here if you want more advice, more tips and tricks, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.